gonna take in this life wide awake. Open my eyes and my heart to the world in brilliant new ways. Watch all the colors combine and explode. Let them fill in the cracks of the unfinished parts of my soul. Here I go. I release all my secrets and all my pain. Hold to the truth made of a bond stronger than my chains. Free my spirit, let go of my pride, and put words to the ways that I love you for your sake and mine. Oh, this love I have found is lifting me up. Now I see from higher ground. No view as sweet or profound as the me I see in all this love I have found. I stand on goodness like a rock. Hold out my hand to my brothers and sisters and help them stand up. And thank you, struggle. You know you made me strong. With every breath I am sure I am here. I know I belong. Oh, this love I have found is lifting me up. Now I see from higher ground. No view as sweet or profound as the me I see from all this love I have found. Oh, this love I have found is lifting me up. Now I see from higher ground. No view as sweet or profound as the me I see with all this love I have found. Ooh, the me I see with all this love I have found.
All of this love that I have found. So where is this love? Here, everywhere. And why is that? There's only one presence. And if you will join me in acknowledging that as we read our opening statement together, there is only one presence, one power, and one activity, God, the good, omnipotent. And we know that God is good, God is love, and God is all in, through, and as us. And as we are saying our prayer for our church, let's hold in mind our church mission, which is to love the soul, to light the mind, to lift the heart, and to heal the body. So if you will say our prayer for our church together. Bless the work of our church, O Lord. Let our ideals be true. Let our efforts be helpful. Let our words be filled with healing. Let our attitude be joyful. Let the stranger find true welcome and remain as friend. For the Father draws his beloved to this place in his name. Let love and understanding among all people establish peace in our world. Father, Mother, God, we thank you. And I'm just going to repeat one part of that. Let love and understanding among all people establish peace in our world. And now, if you will hold in your minds and your hearts one or two people or any beings that you want to bring into the light, that they may see their own light, and they may be going through challenges or even great times of gratitude or seeking. We need not know what that is or what the outcome should be. But as we say the prayer for others, we know that in their own journey, they will arrive where is theirs to be. Together, as I behold the Christ in you, I see you happy, healthy, prosperous, loving, and beloved, going forth joyously to meet your good. And now, if we will all join together in singing the hymn on the back of the cream color sheet, which is
All the Good. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Counter melody. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. First, back to the first. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do.
all right. Well, good morning. I am Stephanie Bush-Mann, and I am the licensed Unity teacher for our beloved Unity Church of Christ. And it is my honor to be here today. Reverend Rebecca is here and will be here a little later, which will be going on in the announcements. We have any visitors with us today? Anyone? Hello, welcome, welcome. Our usher is providing you with a copy of our welcome packet. You see there's a little badge if you want to put it on here. We are so happy to have you. And inside there is a daily word. This has a daily affirmations and a brief reading or prayer. Many people become aware of Unity from the daily word, and it will have the 2 months, probably November and December at this point, a little welcome, a bit of background about what Unity is. There's also within there a copy of some of our activities and such, and there's a card that you can fill out and give to the usher. We'd love to keep you on our mailing list, and so welcome, and we look forward to you being a part of our happy family. Thank you for coming. And to all who are joining us virtually and here in the sanctuary, it's so good to see you. We have a great number of announcements because of that time of year, but first, I'm going to introduce you to, I've named him Felix. And you may notice that yes, good morning, Felix, you know. He represents the 4 cats I have at home, right? My pandemic babies. But you will see that we have stuffed animals in the various chairs. And what we do during this time is we bring in the various stuffed animals as well as mittens and such for the tree. And during our services, we just love them up, and they're loving me back up. And because we will be giving them anonymously to a shelter. And we know that many times when children end up in a shelter, they're fleeing and they have nothing with them that they can love. So these will be dropped off with all the love we instill, and the vibration of this love will go forward and to make their lives even to give us smiles. So if you see 1 or 2 or 3, you can fill your laps up with them, okay? Please feel free to do so and to bring some in. So Felix and I are up here and we have a lot to read. But first of all, we did our commitment service last week, and everyone received pledge cards in the mail. If you did not receive, or if you want to fill one out today, there are a few in the back, and our usher there, Hall, will be glad to give them to you. We also just recently completed our Adventures in Faith. And so for each of the weeks, it was I will be held out actively accountable. And so if there's different things like for my finances, for my relationships, for creativity, etc., we have a few of those back there if you'd like to get one. We generally have 2, one you can fill out and take home and post so you see it all week and all year, and another if you'd like us to post it on the wall. And what about these decorations? Woo, woo, woo. Want to thank everyone. I believe we said 8 elves that came out yesterday and did all of this, and we so appreciate the beauty and the guidance from Missy in doing this. We appreciate you, Missy. So thank you. And let me see. So we've got that, and okay, we have many, many different things that are right in your bulletin. I'm going to go over, because they're all so important, that I'm going to read more than I normally would. So for those who are here, you'll see we have a wonderful life showing up on the screen, because right after service, for those who can stay, and please do, we're going to go out, get some coffee, hot chocolate, popcorn, come back in, watch the film together, because starting next week, it will be the basis of the various Sunday services. For those of you who may be with us virtually or who cannot stay, please feel free to, I'm sure it's on YouTube, and so you can listen to it and hear it and all of that. It will really add a bit of background and substance to what we'll be looking at. So we've got that, the Adventure in Faith, our teddy bears, Thanksgiving Interfaith service, which is this Tuesday at 7 p.m. at Adath El Emmanuel Synagogue. We do this annually, and so this year we're with them, and if you are able to attend, please bring canned foods for that will be distributed, as well as a dessert finger food. If you're not able to come in person, if you do go online and find their Facebook, you will be able to watch it Facebook Live. And also, for those who are with us virtually, if you'll drop a comment in the chat, we'd love to know that you're here. And for those who are here with us present, there is a card, an attendance card. If you'll just put your name and the date, and if we don't have it, your address, and we love when you drop that in the offertory box, just so we know that you're here. And if you provide us with your email addresses, you'll get a weekly e-blast that has all of this in there too. So continuing on Sunday, December 7th, right after the church service, Reverend Rebecca is beginning what we call Hugs, Hearts United in Growth. And it's going to be quarterly, because the last 2 years we've been looking at reimagining what our church and congregation, our spiritual center is. And so now wanting to do this on a regular basis so we can share as a family what we see, what we want, and all of that. So please, please do attend. We're having our church family Christmas party and potluck brunch on Sunday, December 14th, 11:30 to 1:30. It's always a lot of fun. If you could sign up in the Northex, which is the entrance, and let us know what you might be bringing in terms of food and the names and ages of who will be coming. So we'll have our potluck and lots of fun. Okay, creating the beloved community with Reverend Stephanie. The final meeting will be on Tuesday, December 16th, 6:30 to 8:30, and you get a special Zoom link for those who've been attending. Christmas candlelight service. Okay, we are like into those seasons right now. So this year it's going to be during the Sunday service on Sunday, December 21st. So it is going to be not Christmas Eve, but during our December 21st service. If you're going to be participating virtually, please let us know, let the office know in advance so that we're able to give you the affirmation candles can be mailed to you in advance. And then also the Burning Bowl service, which is Sunday, December 28th, which will be during church service. Once again, if you anticipate that you will be participating virtually, let us know so that we can send you the special paper and other items that would be needed for that wonderful, wonderful service. We also have sound healing sessions now, and you can read about that. And it has from our own Angelo with the phone number and email, you know, with the vibrations, and just really, really, really important. I had an opportunity to participate in one of the workshops that was given here. We also have ongoing ministries, including the pet critter, the corner for bringing in any foods, any sort of cat litter, anything for any type of critter that someone may have. We know that oftentimes people take care of pets and animals and even do foster care and adoption or take care of the feral animals outside, but may need a little help, So even toys and things of all of that. Also, would you like to get involved in the church community? We could use help with sound, the bookstore, and greeter, and usher, so please feel free to let us know. Always we enjoy it. And I think I've handled it well. I said I could really, after this, I could just do meditation, we can go home, but no. But with that, I believe we have finished all of our announcements. And I'm going to put Felix right here. And I'm going to ask our daily word reader, our beloved Mihal O'Brien, to come up and share a daily word which is pertinent to our lesson today.
Today's daily word is love, which comes from Monday, June the 2nd, 2025. And our affirmation is, love flows to me and through me. You can find this affirmation on the inside cover of your bulletin. Let's affirm it together. Love flows to me and through me. Love is the name and the nature of God and a wonderful aspect of my divine inheritance. God is love, and I am loved by and through love. I can trace all my loving impulses to the divine within. In fact, I feel most alive when I generously share the love that lives in my heart. I feel grateful there are so many ways to do this. I can demonstrate compassion for a stranger, recognizing and honoring their sacred worth. I can cultivate love through other acts of kindness. Even a simple smile and warm greeting can brighten someone's day and let them know they matter. Each time I make a heartfelt connection, I am bringing the love of God into the world. When I love, I am manifesting the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. Our Bible verse is from 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 14. Let all that you do be done in love. And again, our affirmation is, love flows to me and through me.
Thank you. Love flows through me. It doesn't just come to me. Think about it. Love. Do you know how many times love is mentioned in the Bible? a minimum of 310 times, up to 600 depending upon which version of the Bible you have. And it's reported that Jesus used the word and talked about love 61 times. Remember what he said? Love yourself, love your neighbor, love your enemy. And I wondered why I'm so often, when I'm thinking about sharing a Sunday lesson, that the idea of love comes to me. And interestingly, as some of you know, I'm also in ministerial school, and June 1 will be ordained and become a minister and all things. So one of my million courses that I had to take, I had to observe other church services and a minister, Reverend Edith Washington Woods from Unity of Gaithersburg. She was talking about something else, but within her sermon, she said something that resonated with me. She first talked about, remember, and it probably still happens, but it was a real fad before, WWJD. What did that stand for? What would Jesus do? Remember the bracelets, the everything, right? And she said, what she takes from that and uses, what would love do? And that really just stuck with me, because I realized that there's only one presence and one power, and that is God or spirit, divine mind, universe, higher energy, whatever name or no name you choose for this creative energy that always was, is, and will be, and that acts in, through, and as us, that is love with a capital L. So I'm not necessarily talking about that lowercase l, you know, that conditional can be nice, fuzzy, wuzzy love, and then all of a sudden, you know, you don't like this person anymore. They used to be your BFF, right? Or so I'm talking about that capital L, that universal love, that principle that never changes, never dies. So when I say, what would love do? I'm saying it from that, from my higher self, my higher level of consciousness. Now, when I also do that, I think about some of the unity teachings and principles. That number one, which we said, there's only one presence and one power, and that's God, good, love, omnipotence. Number two, anyone know what that one is? That we are all one with God, that we all have a bit of divinity within us, all of us, even if we don't realize it, or even if we're looking at someone else, we can say divinity, we can even call it light with a capital L, right? And so I know for me, part of my life thing is now finding and letting this light within me, this divinity, grow. Because when this light shows up, then when I'm near other people, their light shows up. You know, even if you give a random compliment to someone, do you see them brighten up? You ever done that? You can even be in line, everybody's mad, waiting in a long line in the supermarket or whatever, and you can say, oh, I really like that shirt, and somebody did just start to beam. But just knowing that. We also know we have power over what? Our thoughts. That is one thing we most definitely have power over, is our thoughts. So we have the ability to change them when need be. And one of the ways in which we do that, or two of the ways, is what? Through prayer and meditation, going within, taking time to let the outer world just be there, but to go within to ourselves, to our core selves, to our true selves, to our divinity, to our light, and really examine. You know, it's a safe space, so we can be honest with ourselves that if we've got like a thought or something in our mouth, or even an email we're about to change, you know, to send out, that we may hear, because within this safe space are all of our strengths, including love, wisdom, right discernment, and elimination. And then, What are we supposed to do after all of that? We're all like prayed up, meditated up, knowing we're one with God. We're like got the light. So what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to go out and cuss somebody out? We're supposed to live the truth we know in our thoughts, words, and actions. So what would love do? I love looking at this particular scripture, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 9. And I'm sure many of you have heard it as I begin to read it, particularly at commitment ceremonies, weddings, and such. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It also protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. How many of you have heard that before? Gives me like a warm feeling. And many times we may think that the origin of it was for a wedding or something romantic. But in reality, this was written by the Apostle Paul to the members of the church, the Corinthian church. Now, Paul, as some of you may remember, used to be named Saul. He was originally named Saul. And because of a revelation that he had on the road to Damascus, in which he became aware of the inner dwelling of his spiritual consciousness, his Christ consciousness, he changed his whole life from being the Saul who had been a very educated Pharisee, who persecuted followers of Jesus, and who also, from the Pharisees, we see where they knew the letter of the Spirit, but not the spiritual aspect of divine. He changed. And he went on to actually create churches, Christian churches, because, Jesus never planted any church. But Paul went on. That was the great transformation he had when he realized the divinity within him. So one of these churches that he had, one of the cities was Corinth, which was a major port town where he created a church. We call it planted a church, and then he left and went on about his business. And so this was being a port town. It's like we know on our coastlines, right? This is where we have great diversity of culture, of thought, of experiences, of even different spiritual perspectives, and many times there's conflict. And so he became concerned because at the church, once he left it, even though they would use some of the spiritual tools, and they were love to prophesize and to also have speak in tongues and all of that, they were fighting with each other. They were fighting with each other. And so he wrote them this letter because he wanted them to be able to use their spiritual gifts with love. Because he said to have spiritual gifts without love is empty. It's sort of like going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, how we can go and realize there's one presence, there's one power, and it's God, good, omnipotence, love, and that we are one with God, and that we are all one with God, even if it's somebody we don't particularly like, that we have control over our thoughts and we need to become aware of what they are and change them when they need to. And then we need to show up from that state of consciousness. Because are we human? Yeah. What percent? 100%. Are we spiritual beings? Yep. What percent? 100%. And I know new math, 200%. That's what we are. Do we have choice on how we show up? You know, in unity, we also look and we say that there's our human aspect. And where we get our direction from with our human aspect is from our senses and from what other people tell us and from our egos, our personalities. From our spiritual side, we go within and we connect our consciousness more fully with our divinity and with divine spirit, and we get our wisdom and our direction and our cues from there. And that's what we call our individuality with an I. And as human beings, we have the ability to choose which one we're going to operate from. But oftentimes, we don't stop and think. Have you ever said something and then you wish you never had said it? And that you knew that if you just had taken a moment and thought it out, you wouldn't have said it. Because no matter what, we learn to forgive in unity, because when we forgive, who are we helping? Ourselves. But can you ever pull a word back? You can't. So let's look at this scripture metaphysically. Now, when I say metaphysically, I know some people are like, oh my gosh, it sounds like physics, right? And it's like, oh, eyes closed. But to me, it's like Star Wars or something when you're going in and you're getting that deeper meaning, you know. And that's what I love about looking at the scripture, both in the traditional way as well as digging deep. Because when we do that in unity, we're actually saying, what are some of the lessons and the tools that we can take from these historical writings that I can use today to help create my best life? And so we see this as our states of consciousness when we look at a place. So Corinth, when we say that, what's that state of consciousness? Well, for me, then that state of consciousness would be when I'm having diverse thoughts. Some of them are conflicting, some of those are those human thoughts, and some of them are those spiritual thoughts. It's all over the place. And we also see each other as being one with God and being the voices and hands of God. So if I'm doing that, but then I'm like, well, this person's acting that way, and I don't like what they said, or I don't like this, there's a lot of conflict. Paul represents spiritual transformation from just the intellectual. Remember, as Saul, he was the highly educated Pharisee who had his spiritual, but it was from an intellectual. And then when he realized the indwelling spirit and Christ within him, he was transformed with spiritual zeal. It's how we can all be. Now, when we talk about the church, metaphysically, we're not talking about a structure or a building. We're talking about the Christ consciousness within ourselves and that same transformation of intellectual zeal into spiritual zeal. And I'm sure many of us experience that like every day. Have you ever had something you're trying to find the answer to, and you just use your intellectual, I'm a problem solver by profession, right? So you figure it out, you got your piece of paper and all this, and you just can't get it. And then you go into the silence. Whether it was walking in nature, whether it was just sitting and taking a breath, and all of a sudden the answer just appears. That ever happened to you? It's sort of like finding your keys, right? You look everywhere for your keys and you're figuring out, and then when you breathe and just let go, they're right there. Where they were, where you looked, where they should have been. So it's going from that intellectual to that spiritual, going within and letting that happen. So let's look at this. So love is patient. Love is kind. So when we look at this, patience, We can either react to something or we can respond to something. When we react, what are we basing it on? Emotion, instinct, old stories, many times not even thinking. When we respond, what are we basing it on? Consent? Yeah, common sense, kind of like taking a moment and thinking about it. And when we look at this metaphysically, we know that patience is non-reactive, and it's always coming from our Christ consciousness. Kindness is love, expressing through gentleness and compassion. And these are natural within our divine identity. But if we're always going from the outside and we don't take a moment to go within, do we connect with that easily? With our true nature? No. It does not envy, does not boast, is not proud. So remember I talked about ego and personality as considered to individuality. So where do you think envy and boasting come from? Ego, our personality. But when we are coming from spirit, we recognize, we remind ourselves of that which we know, that there is only one presence expressing through all of us. And we don't have the need to compare. We don't have the need to think I'm better than someone else, or that I'm less than someone else, or that because this is their position, they've got to be wrong and I've got to be right, or that there's something wrong with them. We don't have to divide, because our true power of love with a capital L is unifying and harmonizing, and it's what binds all beings together. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. So dishonoring another is forgetting their divine identity, and self-seeking is forgetting who we are. We're going back to that we're moving away from the Christ that is in each and every one of us. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. So this is about forgiveness. And as we said, when we forgive, we give for. We give love for. Doesn't say we always forget what occurred, but we make a conscious decision, which we often have to do repeatedly, because, you know, the humanist comes back up and we start, sometimes we get mad, we don't even remember what we were mad about, right? Or you ever have some with somebody and you know, I just know I don't like, you don't even remember what happened. But with this, we forgive and we let it go. And we keep no record of wrongs. We learn to go within and let it be. I know several months ago when I spoke from here, I talked about a lady that was at a park and she rolls her window down and she starts telling me off. Had nothing to do with me, but it had to do with the car I drove. She was losing her job, but she didn't say that at first. She's just attacking me. But I chose for some reason, and I am so grateful that I just sort of smiled and said, "Why are you being so uncivil to me? I send you blessings." And she kept going, but I just kept just like that. And then eventually she says, "I'm about to lose my job and this and that." So it wasn't even about me. But I could have jumped, you know, I could have gotten all in the fray. I could have come from my outside self, but I didn't. And what that did for me, it meant I did not fuel the fire. And it also meant I felt good. Because when you go and you start fueling the fire and you start fighting back and you start saying this, then you have to go calm yourself down, right? Because we build ourselves up in negativity. But I chose, and I hadn't even heard that about what would love do. But I took a deep breath. And sometimes we have to go where we are letting some of our resentment, our grudges, and our old stories, we got to let them go. And have you ever made up a story for somebody else? They looked at me funny. They talked at me in a strange way. They said this, and then my human self just started creating the whole story of why they did. And sometimes if you have the opportunity to speak with them later, it wasn't even about me. Like with that lady in the park, it wasn't even about me. But she just needed to vent. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. So in unity, what is evil? Error thinking. It means we're thinking the wrong way. And that we have control over our thoughts. And so number one, we have to be aware of what they are. And then we have to be able to change them. And when we do, we rejoice not in evil and negativity, but in truth. Remembering that we are divine beings and we are expressions of God. So how are we showing up? And it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. It's always grounded in spiritual truth. Love trusts because good is the underlying. It hopes because divine potential is everywhere. We may look out in the world, we may look out in our communities, we may look out in the country and feel everything's going to heck. But when we hold on to the idea that there's only one presence and one power, and that is good, and that we have choice, and that when we have choice, I'm not saying don't do what is yours to do, but I'm saying what would love do as you're doing it. I'm not saying sit on your duff and let things go in a way if you consider them to be wrong. But I'm saying consider showing up from love, showing up from the presence of God, the expression of God which you are, and it never fails. So what does this mean? To me, it means that at times I have to break, breathe, and choose. Break, breathe, and choose. Many a time I've written an email, and then I do delete, 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 because I don't want that to be the way I'm showing up. There may be things that I want to react to verbally, and I'll take a deep breath, and I'll say stop. And I'm always glad when I did. So just as Paul was calling upon the Corinthians, he's calling us to live from our spiritual maturity. Love is not something we achieve, it's something we reveal because it's already in us. It's already in everyone. It is our natural state of expression of God. Love is present because is patient because our soul is patient. Love is kind because our true nature is kindness. And love never fails because the Christ in us never fails. So, what I do, I choose love. When I say, what would love do? And I get all of these options, including the ones that say, well, I would go after them. I would do this, I choose love. And for me, it becomes very simple. What would love do? And I choose love. Now, going forward with it's not always simple, but I know the strength I have within me have been created in the image of God. So now let's take a few moments, and to take all of this in to our quiet consciousness. And if you'll begin by emptying your lap, unless you have a Felix, feet on the ground, and gently closing your eyes if you feel comfortable in doing so, or lowering your gaze, and take a slow, deep breath in, and exhale fully. Feel your body settling into a place of rest, safety, and ease. Allow your breath to become soft and natural. And with each inhalation, welcome peace. With each exhalation, release tension. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart space. Imagine a gentle light glowing there, a warm, soft radiance. This is the light of divine love, the same love described in Corinthians. It is patient, it is kind, it is steady and eternal. With every breath, feel this light expanding, filling your heart, your lungs, your entire chest. Let this light melt away stress, worries, and old emotional residue. Sense this love dissolving in patience, dissolving tension, dissolving old stories that say you are anything less than whole. Breathe in kindness. Breathe out resistance. Breathe in compassion. Breathe out judgment. Now imagine this radiant light slowly expanding outward, filling your entire body. Feel it flowing into your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. Let it move through your torso, your hips, your legs, and through your feet. Your whole being is bathed in the love that never, ever fails. Now feel this love moving beyond you, forming a field around you, a field of divine love that extends several feet, then several yards, all around your body. This is your spiritual atmosphere. Now allow this love to touch the people in your life, those you care for, those you are neutral about, and even those with whom you struggle. You do not need to force forgiveness. Simply allow the light to shine. Divine love knows where to go. Divine love knows how to heal. Now extend this field farther to your home, your neighborhood, your workplace, your community. Feel this love touching every person, every child, every elder, every being. Extend this love to the world across oceans, cities, forests, hospitals, schools, prisons, nations. Envision the planet wrapped in the steady, patient love described by Paul. Rest in this vision and silently affirm, divine love within me is active now. Divine love through me blesses all. Divine love as me reveals the truth of who I am. Let these words become a gentle rhythm in your mind.
My heart, I ask, what would love do? Whenever I don't know where to turn, I ask, what would love do? Whenever I don't know what to say, I ask, what will love do? What would love do? Anytime that I'm stuck in my pain, I ask, what would love do? Anytime that I feel ashamed, I ask, what would love do? Anytime I can't find my truth, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. When I have something hard I need to ask, I ask, what would love do? When it seems another block is in my way, I ask, what would love do? When it seems I can't face another day, I ask, what would love do? What would love do? Love has all the answers. Love makes no demands. Love will lead me to the truth and help me to understand that life is all about love. In any situation, I ask, what would love do? When I'm feeling limitation, I ask, what would love do? If I take a look into my soul and ask, what would love do? And look into my heart and ask, what would love do? What would love do? What would love do? What would love do?
So what would love do? The beauty of life is we have choice. And as we encounter different situations and people and thoughts, we can always go within to our divine selves, and we can choose love. And so it is. Amen. Okay. And now we have the opportunity to express our generosity with this spiritual community of Unity Church of Christ. And we have a offertory box in the back for those who give physically, and I know that many use their Tithely app as well as other ways. But if we will just sort of hold within our hands the the mental expression of our generosity. And together, as we say, our affirmation of abundance, together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And if we'll say it once again, using the pronouns us and we, so it is of oneness, together, divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And we know that these gifts support this wonderful ministry and community and goes out beyond just these walls. But with each of us, as we are growing and knowing the truths and choosing to live them, we are creating better lives for ourselves and a better world for all. And for this, we are so grateful. And then next we will sing the prayer for protection. I choose love, and then followed by the prayer for protection. And I choose love is on your...
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
And if you'll join me in saying our prayer for protection, which is right in our bulletin, and together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And wherever we are, God is. And where God is, all is well. And as we go forth this week, this Thanksgiving week, I am grateful for each and every one of you who are here virtually and present. And we go forth, just as we said, I am the presence of God. And as we gather with others, sometimes there will be opposing opinions and things we never even asked about. We take a breath. We have the choice of saying, I choose love. And so it is. And have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed week. Okay.
I'm gonna take in this life wide awake, Open my eyes and my heart to the world in brilliant new ways. And watch all the colors combine and explode. Let them fill in the cracks and the unfinished parts of my soul. Here I go. I release all my secrets and all my pain. Hold to the truth made of a bond stronger than my chains. And free my spirit. Let go of my pride. And put words to the way that I love you for your sake and mine. Oh, this love I have found is lifting me up. Now I see from higher ground. No view as sweet or profound as the me I see in all this love I have found. I stand for goodness like a rock and hold out my hand to my brothers and sisters and help them stand up. Thank you, struggle. You know you made me strong. With every breath I am sure I am here. I know I belong. Oh, this love I have found is lifting me up. Now I see from higher ground. No view as sweet or profound as the me I see in all this love I have found. Oh, this love I have found is lifting me up. Now I see from higher ground. No view as sweet or profound as the me I see in all this love I have found. Ooh, this me I see in all this love